Hey guys, I'm Ava, and let's talk about Pokemon. With the new gen just being announced, I thought this would be the perfect time to look back to Gen 7, aka Sun and Moon, because it is a great era, and I think a lot of people in the TCG are looking at it a lot, trying to figure out what they should be buying or if they should be buying anything at all, because Sun and Moon has gotten a lot more expensive in the past 2 years, particularly the last year. 2021 was crazy for this era, but I think that there is still room for investment here, and we are going to be talking about that today. Also guys, if you like this video, please subscribe to my channel. That would really help me out a lot. I would really appreciate it, and give this video a like. And so last night, instead of doing things I was supposed to be doing, I stayed up really late making this spreadsheet. I really like spreadsheets. And I gathered all this data that I could on Sun and Moon products. So here I have the current lowest TCGplayer listing for the booster packs, the ETBs, the booster boxes, as well as the special ETBs for all of the main sets in the Sun and Moon era, as well as the special sets. And I did separate out the tag team era because I think a lot of people in particular are interested in those. And it is really such a different era than like early Sun and Moon. I think a lot of people would agree that these sets are just way better and more cool. So I thought it'd be interesting to divide those out and see how those two compare. And also, looking at this, it's pretty clear that the best investments aren't necessarily going to be these tag team products, right? They're already so expensive, and they're so expensive because they are such great products. If you're looking at this as an investment, these have already appreciated so much. Looking at the Unbroken Bonds ETB, that has appreciated more than anything. It's ridiculous. It's up over 800%. So if you want to think about you buying it now, for you to get a 100% return, that product would have to become 16 times more expensive than its MSRP. So it would have to appreciate over 1600% total. That is just much more difficult than going from MSRP to double MSRP. So something like the Sun and Moon ETB has only appreciated 8%. It's effectively at its market price still, and it has so much more room to grow. I think it's going to definitely be slower growing, but if you're someone who's on a budget and your main focus is going to be your ROI, that is a great product there. So this is just going to help show kind of, depending on what your collecting goals, there are certain things that are going to be ideal for you. And I just wanted to show you guys some of my personal purchases that I've made throughout 2021 so you can kind of see how it might go. A lot of times certain products aren't going to appreciate right away and other ones will, and if you buy a variety of products, it'll probably end up being diversified enough that you have a good return. So let's just take a quick look here, and we're going to go over the three main categories of sets. So first up, we have the earliest Sun and Moon sets. As you can see, these have not appreciated nearly as much, and it's interesting because actually the oldest sets, these are all listed chronologically, starting Sun and Moon, ending in Cosmic Eclipse, and then these are listed chronologically as well. However, Shining Legends was towards the beginning and Hidden Fates was towards the end, so those are scattered throughout. But you can see that the early sets actually have appreciated the least. I've color-coded this so you can see things that are yellow have not appreciated very much, and things that are green have appreciated a lot, just to make it more easy to understand visually. To me, this is contradictory to what you would assume given all sets being equal, but it makes sense when you consider the quality of these sets. Celestial Storm and Lost Thunder are probably the best sets from Sun and Moon era. As well, Burning Shadows people like because there's a Charizard in it. So this just kind of goes to show that these sets up here maybe aren't quite as good. However, I will say that the Sun and Moon base set is a really good option because it is the base set. So I think a lot of collectors, 10 years from now, if they're going through and purchasing booster boxes or ETBs and they have a limited budget, they might be going for those base sets because they're very memorable. And so I think for that reason, Sun and Moon is still a very viable investment, and I will show you later some of my purchases I have made related to base set. Just keep in mind that overall, early Sun and Moon era sets have had lower returns so far, but that does also make it easier for them to appreciate in terms of percentages. So in terms of absolute dollar return, the tag team sets still may end up being higher, but you're paying so much more for that. I would rather buy something for $100 that appreciates to $200 than something that I bought for $300 appreciating to $400. The dollar amount in return is the same, but I invested way less and I can buy more. So looking at these special sets as well, these are really interesting. Obviously they have appreciated so much, and I think this is really telling that Hidden Fates is still worth buying. It is only $160 since I last looked at TCGplayer, which was yesterday. This is as of March 7th, 2022. And as you can see, the ETB is actually only going for pack value. And when you add in the additional value from the sleeves, especially from the promo card that is thrown in there, I think the ETB is a great option, and you can see that the packs are going for $16. There are 10 packs in it, so 10 times 16 is 160. So I think for that reason, Hidden Fates is a very, very good option, and I think this is a great option for both people who are on more of a budget and also people who have more of a budget and are looking more for things to collect that they really love, because this is such a highly collectible set. And I think also that if you want to crack open a special set or something cool where you know you're going to open a lot of stuff, Hidden Fates is a solid option from the Sun and Moon era because it hasn't appreciated that much for what it is. I think you can see Shining Legends and Dragon Majesty have really outperformed. Their ROIs are the highest on average, maybe tied with Team Up, but Team Up was never reprinted. I have a note here. So its high price might be justified, but that's definitely up for you to decide, because I would not recommend buying Team Up unless you definitely have a big budget. It is so expensive. I have not bought a booster box of it myself. I'm thinking of it, but I don't know if it's worth it. If you were going to go for one of them, maybe Cosmic Eclipse would be better. But even more so, I think Unified Minds, of all the tag team products, is currently your best option. It has only appreciated 178%, which is a lot, but when you compare it to the other ones, it's not nearly as much. Unbroken Bonds booster box is also a good option. You can see, though, that Unified Minds, I think, is in particular a good option because its packs have appreciated more than the booster box. You can see for all of these other ones, the booster box has gone up more than the packs. But this means that the value inside of Unified Minds is more justified because the packs are worth more in relation to the price of the booster box. So for that reason, I would definitely recommend Unified Minds, and it is like a really cool set. I really love that set. And also, if you want to open up a tag team set, Cosmic Eclipse loose packs are the way to go. They've only appreciated 137%, which is actually crazy to me because you can look over here. Ultra Prism all the way through Lost Thunder is more expensive than a pack of Cosmic Eclipse. And Cosmic Eclipse is such a great set, and with Brilliant Stars having just come out, it kind of is a really good throwback to Cosmic Eclipse, both because it features Arceus and also because of those trainer cards. Cosmic Eclipse, they did it first, they did it best. It is such a cool set. I love it so much. I would highly recommend you guys opening that if you want to open up some tag team packs. I think of all the sets on this list, that one is going to give you your best value if you want to open packs. There are some expensive cards in it, like the alternate Arceus tag team card, so I definitely would recommend this. And let's just take a note to look at some of the best and worst performers, which I have laid out here for you guys. You can see that the return on this Unbroken Bonds ETB is crazy. I'm pretty sure this was very limitedly printed, which is why it is so much more expensive than the booster box. So you want to be careful with this one because its price is really only rarity, not necessarily value. Like, there's not necessarily as much value inside because all of the packs in it are only going to be worth about $100. So this one, I think you might want to pass on unless you're going to complete that collection. I actually accidentally bought two of them. You can see I have one there behind me and another one up there. I don't really know how that happened. I feel really stupid for doing it, but luckily I was able to get them cheaper than it is now, so it all worked out okay. Another thing to note is that the only early Sun and Moon thing to make it on here was a Celestial Storm ETB. That is definitely a really good ROI, and to me it would suggest that this set definitely is a high quality set, which we know to be true. And also you might want to consider picking up a Celestial Storm booster box. However, I would say for $460 you would be better off going for Cosmic Eclipse, Unbroken Bonds, or Unified Minds, but it is something to keep in mind if you do like that set. I think Lost Thunder is also a very solid set from here. But again, aside from those, if I had to pick one of the early sets, I would choose Sun and Moon because it's appreciated the least. This makes it look like it's not valuable, but if you're looking at this as an investment, this is the one that still has the most potential. It's the most likely to be undervalued. I would not recommend buying loose packs of Sun and Moon base, though. Do not. Because the first printing, at the very least, of the Sun and Moon base set was searchable. I think it was like every third pack you were going to have your hit. So those packs are almost certainly searched, and that is probably why they have not appreciated at all. So please do not buy those. Also, I wouldn't recommend buying Crimson Invasion very much because it is a pretty much worthless set. It's okay if you want to keep it sealed if you're a completionist. I think I do have the ETB, and I maybe have the booster box as well, but I am not planning on buying multiples of it anytime soon. Another thing to note is the Shining Legends pack actually made it to the top of this list, as well as the Dragon Majesty pack. These are the only 2 packs that have made it onto the top of the list, and that again just goes to show how good these special sets are. Shining Legends is quite old, so that does make sense. But also, Dragon Majesty is newer than it, and its ETB has appreciated more. So I think Dragon Majesty is also a very good set, though again, these might not be what you want to buy. If you want to buy a special set, go for Hidden Fates. And over here on the worst performers, you can see that it is dominated primarily by packs, and this makes sense because we know that ETBs and booster boxes appreciate more than what they're really worth inside. That's why like an Aquapolis booster box can go for like $50,000. These, I think, if you want to open packs, probably go for loose ones. Again, just be mindful of the set's history and whether or not it was ever searchable at any point, like the Sun Moon base set was. But you can also see the Sun and Moon ETB is up here, which is why I recommend this so strongly. It also comes in 2 different art styles, which I do think is very cool. And over here, I took the average of all of our returns for our different types of products. I did keep the special ETB as a separate product because those are very different from main set ETBs in that they have more packs, they're more expensive, and they also have promo cards. So over here you can see that the special ETBs clearly have the best return. It averages to 423%, and that is including Hidden Fates in that average. So I think given that Hidden Fates is only at half of that right now, it's clearly a really great option. Booster packs average out to 241%, ETBs average to 351%, and boxes average to 222%. So this is interesting because although booster box do dominate the lowest return section, boxes do have the lowest average return. And I think this just goes to show because these booster packs really end up outweighing some of these. In particular, the special set booster packs really bring this average up a lot. So do with that information what you will. Again, I do think that the ETB is going to be your best option if you can find one that has a lower return than that. Obviously, also keep in mind, if you guys can find a deal, this is just TCGplayer prices. A lot of times, TCGplayer is kind of my last resort for buying sets. I like to go to like my local LGS where I can get a deal or look on other websites as well. Also, just a note that you guys can actually go in here and edit what the MSRP for these products is. So you can just kind of test to see how it would look. You might want to say that an MSRP for a booster pack is $5, for example. For maybe those special sets, it could end up being like that. So you can go in and edit those. You can also change the booster box to be $144, which is technically the MSRP. I used $120 though. I think that's a fair average for when a set actually first comes out. It's oftentimes lower than that too, but we're just going with this for now. And also, I included a legend here. Green equals high return, yellow is low return. Black numbers are things I would recommend you guys don't edit unless you're very familiar with Excel. Blue numbers you can go in and change because these are hard-coded. However, all of the black numbers are formulas, so if you change them, it might get messed up. So you can see if we change this to be $144, the percent on the boxes, the return becomes much, much lower. So this is something worth keeping in mind. If you are able to find things for a really good deal, I would highly recommend it. You can also extrapolate this to later sets as well. I think this will apply to Sword and Shield fairly well as well. But I think for right now, this is really good to look at for Sun and Moon. So again, some products I would definitely recommend from here. Sun and Moon base set ETB, Sun and Moon base set booster box is also a solid option. The Unified Minds booster box, the Unbroken Bonds booster box, the Cosmic Eclipse booster box, and especially the Cosmic Eclipse loose packs if you want to open products. And in terms of special sets, Hidden Fates booster box is definitely the way to go. I also just want to show you guys some of my personal purchases that I have made. I'm not sure why this zoomed out so much. Again, a reminder, if you like this video, please subscribe to my channel and give this video a like. It would mean a lot to me and really help me out. As you can see, I don't have very many subscribers and I would really appreciate a few more. So I also just want to show you guys some personal purchases that I have made myself. You can see I sorted these purchases by where they were from: eBay purchases, TCGplayer, and StockX. And this is just a picture of some of my StockX purchases so that you can see kind of what the StockX website looks like. I highly recommend checking out StockX, by the way. Obviously, I am not affiliated with them, but they often have the best market price for products that are out of print and sometimes ones that are in print. However, it's usually not worth it because after the fees and stuff, it ends up being more expensive anyway. and if you're just going to open them up, you don't really need the authentication process to begin with. I don't know if their authentication process is really that good. However, they do put a sticker on the product, and if that bothers you, maybe don't go for them, but you can see that the prices I got here were quite good. In particular, I think that this Cosmic Eclipse ETB was a very, very good deal. And I've gone through here and I have the price that I paid for each item, approximately the date when I bought it. I just rounded to the nearest month for most of these, aside from StockX, and the quantity that I purchased, if it was more than one, otherwise I just left that section blank. These should actually be in blue, so I'm just going to change that really quick. So I also have the price increase here, which is just taken from our previous slide, and this is the percentage increase. So this is going to be in relation to how much it actually costs, because as you can see, absolute dollar amounts don't necessarily mean everything. So for example, I have a product here that increased $25, and that's 29%, but I have something here that increased $69, and that is only 23%, so you really just have to be mindful of what you're purchasing. It's also pretty crazy to see some of this appreciation. You can see that at the end of 2020, actually, I purchased some Unbroken Bonds booster boxes for only $200, and then 10 months later, I am paying $300 for an ETB. I actually should not have bought that. I should have just bought the one that I had purchased from eBay up here, but I made a mistake, and it is what it is. But then I have also included the time that's passed, and then I've taken this data to average it to be annualized, because obviously some of these products I purchased much longer ago than others. This is only about a year of time, just because this is what I was able to readily find. I've purchased things from other sites as well, but it was just very quick and easy for me to go through these sites and find the Sun and Moon products that I purchased in particular. I know I've bought things like, I bought 3 Hidden Fates ETBs for $100 each, a Lost Thunder ETB I believe for $60 from my local game store. I found like some Crimson Invasion, Burning Shadows ETBs in particular, like Barnes & Noble or something, so definitely check out Barnes & Noble, by the way. But you can see that some of these products have had really high returns already, which is pretty crazy. So it's hard to say whether you should look at the absolute increase or the annualized increase, because the early half of 2021 obviously exploded. The latter half of 2021 was also good for Pokemon. Obviously, products that I purchased at the beginning of 2021 had that huge advantage when it comes to appreciation. So in some cases, I think that the percentage increase might be more accurate. Also, when you're looking at things that have had a negative return, annualizing it doesn't really make sense. But I've included it here to try and balance it out so you can look at both of these and judge for yourself. It's interesting to note that I even have 2 products that have not had a positive return. So that is my Shining Legends ETB that I bought for $315, and keep in mind the prices that I used on the previous page don't include shipping, so I didn't go and check all the shipping prices on TCGplayer, so maybe it is with that price. So as you can see, this one had a negative 8% return so far, and this one was actually negative 1%. This doesn't bother me because I am buying these to hold for at least 5 years, probably longer, unless I decide to give them away or open them, which is unlikely, because why would I ever open up a Sun and Moon booster box? But you can see that it is not a smooth road, right? So some of these products have had very, very high returns, and that's definitely going to be things like these booster boxes, some of these ETBs. Again, the tag team stuff really, really exploded in the past 2 years. You can see that over time, the return has averaged out to be positive. And that's because I clearly bought a lot of stuff. This isn't even everything I have bought in the past year related to Sun and Moon, but it averages out to be a positive return because you have a diversified list here. You can see that I do have a mix of ETBs, booster boxes, and special sets. I don't usually buy booster packs myself because I'm not planning on opening most of these sets. However, actually seeing this data, I might buy some Cosmic Eclipse packs to open up because they are so reasonably priced. But I just thought that this would be a good way to show you guys my personal experience and kind of show you guys what you can expect. When you buy something, it's not just going to continue to go up continuously. I should be doing it like this. It's not going to continuously go up just because you bought it at a certain time. It's kind of going to go up and down, and this has to do with like macroeconomic factors, bigger factors in the Pokemon market, this particular era, this particular set, so it really depends on a lot of things. And again, that's also worth keeping in mind, especially macroeconomic conditions, considering the state that the US is currently in. You might want to hold off on buying things, but again, that's up to you. This, I think, is a pretty good indicator of all of the Sun and Moon products, and just goes to show that there is still room to invest in these products. I really recommend Hidden Fates and the Sun and Moon base set, guys, and also Cosmic Eclipse. If I had to buy one pack, it would be the Cosmic Eclipse pack. If I had to buy one ETB, it would be the Sun and Moon ETB. If I had to buy one special ETB, it would be the Hidden Fates ETB. and if I had to buy one booster box, it would be the Sun and Moon base set booster box. So these are my recommendations for you guys, and I hope this data was helpful for you. I'm actually going to include a link to the spreadsheet down in the description so you guys can access this. Please let me know if you enjoyed this, because I would love to make more spreadsheets like this. I just don't know if anyone actually enjoys these types of videos. They're very fun for me to make, as weird as that sounds, but I do enjoy doing this, and I would be happy to do this for other eras or other types of products. You could do this for singles as well. I think it would be very good to do for Sword and Shield, because the new Gen 9 was just announced, and you could even do it for things like XY, but I thought this would be really fun to do. So if you guys like this video, please subscribe and tell me if you'd like me to analyze anything else and what in particular, and give this video a like if you enjoyed it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.